Kaieteur Radio, keeping you informed.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Berbice 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
A pleasant good evening to you and welcome to this, your third and final major newscast for today, October 28th, 2020. I am Joshua Van Slykeman. Let's get to the news in detail. Low-cost JetBlue on Tuesday announced a revised launch timeline for a new non-stop service between New York, John F. Kennedy International Airport and Georgetown, Guyana's Cheddi Jagan International Airport. According to the carrier, which is known to low fares, flights will initially operate up to 4 times weekly on JetBlue's new Airbus A321neo aircraft, beginning December 11, 2020, with seats available for purchase starting yesterday. The flights will be in addition to those of Eastern Airline and Caribbean Airlines on the high-demand New York to Georgetown route. With the government of Guyana announcing a relaxation on the restrictions of commercial flights because of the COVID-19 pandemic, the starts of the flights from Blue Jet will be a signal of the airline's confidence in opening up of airports. According to JetBlue, just 5 hours from New York by air, Georgetown serves as the gateway to Guyana. JetBlue's newest route will also connect New York's Guyanese American community, the largest in the U.S. with the capital city, making the connections between friends and families easier and closer than ever. JetBlue initially announced the new route between New York and Georgetown in September 2019, but temporarily paused the sales of seats and adjusted the launch schedule in response to the change in global travel demand. In other news, the Office of the President yesterday, or that should be today, announced that after consultation with the Chancellor of the Judiciary, Justice Yoned Cummins Edwards, President Irfan Ali will appoint Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Mohammed Anil Nandalal and Timothy Monroe Jonas as senior counsel with effect from tomorrow, October 30th, 2020, or that should be Friday, October 30th, 2020. According to the OP, this was due to their demonstrated knowledge of learning in the law on account of their diligence in practice of law and by virtue of their distinguished contribution to the growth and development of Guyana's and constitutional democracy. Nandalal, a 2-time Attorney General, and would have been a lead attorney at a law for the ruling People's Progressive Party Civic on a number of cases, including for displaced farmers. Jonas was a candidate for a new and united Guyana, one of the new parties in the recent election, taking the forefront in being outspoken about the attempts to rig the elections. The Office of the Department of Public Information is expected to correct the fiat for the 6 attorneys at law that were selected to prosecute the persons accused of electoral fraud committed during the March 2, 2020 general and regional elections and the event that followed. As the intense probe continues into the allegations of electoral fraud, the chairpersons for the People's National Congress Reform and former Health Minister Valda Lawrence, Region 4 Returning Officer Clement Mingo, and a Partnership for National Unity Alliance for Change activist Carol Joseph Smith, yesterday morning made their another appearance in the Georgetown Magistrates Court for the continuation of the matters against the individuality and jointly charges. While speaking to reporters outside of the courthouse, defense attorney Ronald Daniels said that the intended prosecution presented their fiat to the court that they received from the Director of Public Prosecution, Shalimir Ali Haq, giving them the legal permission to prosecute the trial. However, he added that when the document was presented to the court, some issues were discovered, and by the next court hearing on November 31, the document is expected to be fixed and the statements of the witnesses in the matter are to be disclosed. According to Attorney Daniels, the prosecutor also invited the court to have the matter be heard summary, which will allow the defendants to plead to the defense, and the matter will be disposed in the magistrate's court rather than being sent to the High Court. He highlighted that the court did not accept the prosecution's invite, saying they do not have the jurisdiction in the matter unless the fiat is corrected. Minister of Labour, the Honorable Joseph Hamilton, congratulated 26 graduates from the ministry's 6 weeks heavy-duty equipment operating training held in Madhya in Region 8th. At the closing ceremony on Tuesday, the minister said that the programs will be expanded in 2021. There will be programs like technicians for the solar panels so that the region can maintain and repair solar panels. We want to do the same small engine repairs, mechanics, and several ICT programs, he said. The ministry will also be engaged in business person within the region to ensure that the graduates can secure jobs. The graduates were urged to form cooperative societies which would be guided and supported by the department within the ministry. Meanwhile, 24-year-old graduate Unisa Cooper, who is a senior meter reader at the Guyana Power and Light in Madhya, said that the training was one she never thought she could pursue, but was very elated after completing the course. You're listening to your evening newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1, 99.5 FM. We tell you now that Kaieteur News publisher Glenn Lal has written to former President Donald Ramotar asking him to explain his decision for signing away two of Guyana's most valuable assets, the Kaieteur and Kanji oil blocks. The newspaper has been highlighting several aspects of the transaction between Ramotar and members of his administration at Mid-Atlantic Oil and Gas and Ratio Guyana Ratio Energy, two companies with little to no experience in oil exploration at the time they were awarded the valuable oil and gas concessions. In his letter dated October 24, 2020, the publisher outlined that as a national newspaper, Kaieteur News has an obligation to inform the Guyanese public about matters that affects them, their natural resources, and their future security and prosperity. As such, Lal asks that the former president to give reasons for his decision to sign the petroleum agreement for the Kanji and Kaieteur oil blocks with Mid-Atlantic Oil and Gas and the Ratio Guyana Ratio Energy, the two companies that have insufficient track records or capacity to conduct the deep water drilling activity required for those blocks. The letter noted that the agreements were signed by President Ramotar for the Kanji and Kaieteur oil blocks on March 4, 2015 and April 28, 2015 respectively, days before a national elections. People's National Congress Reform Executive James Bond collected $1 million related to the sale of state lands leased by the National Industrial and Commercial Investment Limited (NISIL) to a company in which bonds appear to be a principal. The revelations the bond benefited financially from the deal came to a fore after Glass Holding Incorporated, the recipient, attempted to pay lease fees for lands it had acquired on the east bank of Demerara. Documents seen by Kaieteur reveal that approximately 20 acres of land situated at Peters Hall, East Bank, Demerara was leased by NISIL to registered company Arkin Group Inc. NISIL, per the lease agreement, presented Arkin with 4 plots, A1, A2, A3, and A4, being a portion of 5.8 acres, along with 3 5.0 acres plot of land at Plantation, Peters Hall. The company lists Jermaine Richmond as the principal and the managing director with the address listed at 34 3rd Street, Albertown, Georgetown. Kaieteur News understand that Richmond is or was at some point employed by James Bond. The 20-year lease agreement signed on May 9, 2019, less than 6 months before part of the land, A3 and A4, was sold to Glass, stipulated that Arkin paid a lease fee of $16,244 plus annually with no restrictions given, which meant that the company could sell or rent the land to third parties as it pleased. It should be noted that it was Bond, not Richmond or Arkin Inc., that is listed as the beneficiary of 2 direct bank transfers payment for lands. The first on October 15th comes 5 days after the date of the agreement of sale and was for $195,000. The second on November 21, a week after the POA deeds of assessment, was for $757,800. Both statements listed the beneficiary name as James Bond, an account number and address 34 3rd Street, Albertown, Georgetown. And with that, we've come to the end of today's evening newscast. Let's remind you that you can get the full details of these stories and much more in tomorrow's Kaieteur newspaper. And remember to pick up a copy at a newsstand near you or head across to our website at KaieteurNewsOnline.com. I am Joshua Van Slegman. Thank you for joining us, encouraging you to practice social distancing and adhere to all COVID-19 guidelines. Have a great remainder of your Wednesday evening.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. call us on 225-8465 or 226-8210 today.